Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Wednesday, September 6th, 2017. And as you can see, it's overcast. It's been overcast all day long. Yesterday, we only ended up bringing in 1.5 kilowatt hours on the whole day, where the day before we had brought in 5 kilowatt hours. So let me show you what we got going today. Now, like I said, it's been overcast like this all day long, okay? So, let's see what it says here. Alright, we have 1.3 on this one, and we have 1.4 on that one. So we've brought in 2.7 so far on the day. It's a little after 3 now, so we'll get some more in yet. That's definitely better than yesterday. But, yeah, yesterday was a very, very bad day for solar. That's going to happen. I mean, you know, you're going to have days like that, but what are you going to do? So anyway, I kind of talked a little bit about this in yesterday's video, and I really wanted to bring this subject up, and I wanted to talk about this, especially with Irma bearing down now. I think they said today that the winds of the hurricane reached 200 miles an hour, which is unprecedented. It's like the strongest ever as far as hurricane winds go. I think there was another one that was 200 miles an hour. So it's right up there with like the number one. I think 185 was tied. It was 185 mile an hour winds the other day, and I think that was tied for like the second strongest, I believe. And then it was like 195 might have been the strongest. I think, don't quote me, but it's either tied the strongest with 200 miles an hour, or it is now the strongest ever with 200 mile an hour winds, which is absolutely insane if you think about that, how much damage that can do with those kind of winds. That's crazy. But so this is something I wanted to talk about. I kind of touched base on it a little bit yesterday, and I wanted to bring it up more today, is teaching your kids, okay? As preppers, as people that live off grid and stuff like that, and just your average person out there, all of us should be teaching our kids some very basic skills in order to survive. There's no guarantee that you're always going to be there. They could be on the school bus and something happens and there's an accident, it's winter or who knows what, you know. They need to know how to take care of themselves in that situation, what to do. You know, when I say basic skills, how to make a fire. Know that 3 hours of exposure out in the weather and they're dead. You know, realizing the importance of getting out of the weather and what you would have to do to, well, I got to show you guys this. I'm going to turn this around because this definitely looks like we got rain coming in. They did say we're going to get a possibility of rain this afternoon, but that definitely looks like rain. But, you know, knowing how to make some form of a shelter, you know, so that they can get out of the weather. Like I said, making a fire is probably one of the most important things that you could teach your kids, because in that way they can stay warm. Teach them how to purify water. Even if you have them keep purifying tablets, you know, in their backpack or whatever for school. You know, that's nothing that would be illegal that they couldn't have in school, but that could make the difference of if they had to walk home from school and weren't able to take the bus, they could walk home, be able to purify water, to have fresh water to drink, and know that not to drink out of the creeks and stuff like that, because they'll get dysentery. And you know, those are, you know, they seem like so simple and stupid little things that, you know, you think, well, shit, everybody should know that, you know, but they don't, you know, and that's the thing, is kids don't know unless they're taught. And so with teaching them how to do these things, it's you could save their own, you know, teach them to save their own life. And like I said in yesterday's video, if I was at work and something happened, I know that you know, the kids would be able to take care of themselves here at the homestead, because they can get the fire going, they can keep the fire stoked, they know how to keep the fire stoked because we've been doing it, you know. And I tell them, you know, keep an eye on it, make sure you don't let it burn out. And they do, and they bank it down at night so that it's not burning as fast. I mean, simple little things like that, that could be the difference of life and death. And, you know, if I wasn't able to get home because of a snowstorm or something to that effect, say I was locked in at work and I couldn't get out, I know that they would be okay because they know where the wood is, they know how to get the wood in the fireplace, they know how to stay warm, there's plenty of food, and there's plenty of water, so I don't worry in those aspects. But I've trained my kids and I've taught my kids, so I think that it's really, really important to teach your kids these things. Basic first aid, if somebody's cut or whatever, how to deal with that. Those are really, really important things. Now here's the thing is, I think all the adults need to know how to do those things as well. But think about, we overlook the fact that we don't think about teaching our children. A lot of people don't, I should say. Think about, well, we need to teach our children, because what happens if you're not there, okay? Because we always think, well, I'll be there, so I'll just take care of it. Well, if something happens to you, they need to know what to do. They need to know how to survive. They need to know how to take care of themselves. And even at a young age, they should have certain skill sets, and do it obviously age appropriate, but teach them basic stuff. Teaching a kid how to make a fire, you're not teaching them how to be a pyro. You're teaching them how to be able to survive if they have to. And you talk about the safety issues with it, and you talk about all those things. That's part of the whole training of teaching your child what to do and what not to do. So I think that that's real, real important, and I wanted to do a video just on this topic of, teaching our kids how to survive. How important is it, really? I mean, I think it's really hugely important. There's no guarantee that something doesn't happen to me, Just because I'm a prepper and, off-gridder, it doesn't mean that I'm the expert on everything, I mean, there's no guarantee that I'll always be here. So I want to make sure, and I have with my kids, that they can survive whatever. And so with other people doing the same things, it's important. We don't know what's going to happen. There's no guarantees, guys. There's absolutely no guarantees. So, when an event happens, you don't know where you're going to be. You don't know where your kids are going to be. And, now that school has restarted for everybody, a lot of people, your kids are going to be at school, you're at work, something happens, now, holy crap, how are we going to get everybody? I mean, if you can't get in your car and drive your car there, know that, tell your kids, listen, something happens, have a game plan, get your butts home, even if it's an 8 or a 10 mile walk, depending on the time of the year. If they're smart about it, you teach them how to do things a smart way. I mean, here's a good example of something. I had a neighbor when we lived down in Greece, and I lived in Greece, New York, not Greece, the country. Her son, I don't care how cold it was, and the kid was a moron too, by the way, just to be 100% honest with you. He wore shorts every day to school, no matter how cold it was. If it was 3 degrees outside, this idiot kid was wearing shorts. And I said to her, I said, that's not really smart that you let, well, he won't wear pants. Well, you're the parent, and there's another part of it, you're the parent. You need to, be on top of these kids and teaching them. If they had to walk home and this idiot kid is wearing shorts, he ain't going to make it. He's going to freeze to death, okay? So making sure that your kids have proper gear when they're going to school, even if you don't think, well, whatever, but yeah, make sure they got a hat and gloves and, a scarf and a good winter jacket, just in case. Because why? Because you never know. And that's the important part of it. Here's an airplane flying over. But, like I said, you never know what's going to happen. We never know when it's going to happen. But the thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be home. It doesn't necessarily mean... There it is right there. It doesn't necessarily mean that, your kids are going to, be able to contact you. And so having them have some basic skills and realize that they need to get home. I mean, my daughter knows that if something's going down, I don't care what the school says, get home. So that's important. And hopefully the other kids that live up in this area would go with her and they'll work together. I got to clean this lens. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's a little bit better. So anyway, you know, like I said, it's a really important subject. I want to definitely hear your guys' thoughts on it, what you think. You know, sharing information is key. You know, and if I've left something out as far as what you think that the kids should be taught how to do, please let me know. You know, because like I said, it's bouncing that information back and forth and in the comments, and people make great comments, and I appreciate all the comments. And you know, that's how we all kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and I think that that's fantastic. There's been a lot of new influx of people again on the channel, and I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys like what we're doing here, and you know, hopefully you're learning something. We learn all the time, and like I said, practical practice. I've said this over and over and over again. That's the only way to do something, is learning the skill and putting it into practice. And that's going to make all the difference in the world. I mean, you could read it in books and go, yeah, I'm sure I could do that. But until you do it on a regular basis and learn how to do it, that's where the difference comes in. And I know that, like, you know, I've gotten better with a lot of my skills since we've moved up here. Man, it really does look like it's going to rain. I got to show you this again. I'm sorry. It has just gotten really, really dark up through here. But anyway, so, you know, saying that, it's learn those skills, teach your kids. It's so important. And, you know, let me know what you guys think, okay? So anyway, on that note, I'm going to end this video. So as always, I'm going to tell you guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Make sure you tell them every day, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And I want my kids to be able to know that the last thing they ever heard from their dad was, I love you. And, you know, life is so short, and we just never know what's going to happen. I was actually watched The Colony, Seasons 1 and Season 2 over again. That was back from 2009. And the one was in Los Angeles, and the other one was in Louisiana. And the one guy, he was kind of hard on his kids. And after being away from his kids for like 50 days, you know, he said, this has changed me. This has changed the way I look at things, the way I feel. You know, and he was like really just like torn up. And, you know, make sure you tell your kids how you feel about them, you know. And I know I say it and it's redundant, but it's so important that you tell them every day. They need to hear it, and it's a good thing to do. And the people that you care about, you know, tell them how you feel. So, and remember, guys, STD, whatever you're driving for, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be prepping. It doesn't necessarily have to be living off grid. It can be whatever you're working towards. When you have the negative people saying that you can't do it, no way, not going to happen, and you push through it and you do it, that's what it's all about, okay? So work towards your goals, whatever they may be, and you're going to get there. You really will. I will talk to you all tomorrow. And I hope you're having a great week, okay? Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.